I'm going to start off with their suggested topics, then I'll go to the words they're using, and I hope I can think of something else they talked about. So, their suggested topic is to talk about them writing scripts and what they have to say. The words they've been using are words like monkey. They talked about a specific racial group, which I won't talk about. They talked about who is doing this, which I won't say. So again, I'm going to try to, as they're talking to me, there's a TV on in the kitchen. I'll try to write down what they're saying so that I can talk to you guys about it without jumping from topic to topic. Once I started doing the psychology of predators and they realized that everything they're talking about fits what they've been telling me, they said they're walking on eggshells, and I want to talk about walking on eggshells after. So, what I want to talk about in addition to that is that once I started doing that and they said they're walking on eggshells, it's because it fits what they're telling me. So they're abusers. It's something that once I'm telling you folks about it and you guys can hear what they're telling me, you understand they're abusers and predators. So that becomes an issue for them because this was supposed to be something they said I was always listening to. It's impossible. It's impossible that I was always listening to this type of abuse. The other big thing about this is that as they keep trying to go over things that happened, I mean, like I'm talking about in the 1980s, 40 years ago, 1990s, 30 years ago, the 2000s, 20 years ago, they don't have the full details. And so they said that they were always listening to me. But if they were always listening to me, and I keep going back to this, if you're listening to someone for 40 something years, why not bring it up then? Why was it something that nobody discussed? Nobody said anything about. And then all of a sudden I talk about it and they start to talk about it. And that goes back to what I'm saying. There's something in these people that have to, when I'm doing something, come around me and start doing it because they feel, I guess they were saying that they feel that I'll get all the attention. They said I can never be only me. And I'll go back to that. So only me. They said they always have to be a part of everything that I do. But that's part of the problem. They weren't always a part of everything I do. What happened recently? So let's go over walking on eggshells. The point about that is that if you try to confront these types of people with their actions, like suppose let's make an imaginary situation. If I had done this to them, this would have been a completely different result because whenever you try to confront these people with what they do, their abuse, they turn it around on you. Walking on eggshells is a way of saying, you can't confront me because when you confront me, you make me feel insecure. Well, how do they think they've made me feel? Like if you're listening to me and you said you're going to correct everything I do, wouldn't I have said, well, I'm walking on eggshells? No, instead I'm saying, listen to what they're saying to me. So I'm not saying I'm walking on eggshells. The other thing about this idea of them saying that anything I do cannot just be me, it can't be only me, is saying that I'm not allowed to be a separate person from them. I'm not allowed to be my own self. And that goes back to what I'm telling you about the idea of being a self as opposed to being what they want me to be. When you call me a monkey, and we in some places don't consider monkeys as having a self, it means not only is it about me not being human, I don't even have a self. I don't even have the ability in their minds to feel, to say their abuse, to say this is wrong. I don't have a self. I don't have a private moment in the bathroom when I'm sitting down and they're trying to describe what I'm doing. I don't have an ability to have a self where if you're hitting me with something, they said it's some sort of air gun. It's not an air gun. Air guns don't make these marks. Air guns don't require microwave technology. I don't have a self where I can say, ouch, and they would stop. They said they hate me so much. They said, this has always happened to me. It has not. So they said a big deal, and it goes back to, you know, when they're talking about this, they're talking about me not being attractive and no one should sleep with me. That goes back to, again, the idea that I don't have a self that's able to want, to feel, to think. So when they're saying that they were doing this because they're myself, meaning these people are in myself, in my head, that goes back to what I'm saying about them as predators. To think that they could say that and nobody would think that's strange. And that's my point. Who are these people around that wouldn't say, what? You are claiming that you're putting ideas into another human being and nobody says, that doesn't sound right. That's what I'm saying about the idea of self. The other big issue I want to talk about. So now that I've spent I can't even see. I don't have my little magnifying glass. I think over 6 minutes or something like that talking about them. I would like to talk about myself. When they're going back to like the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, the past. And they thought I would go along with that trip. It goes back to what I'm talking about, how these people are, their predatory ways. As predators, they want to keep me in the past. They want to keep me reliving the version of the past that they want me to relive. They don't want me to talk about my past when I told you that. They don't want me to talk about what I've achieved in life. Well, no, don't talk about that past. Talk about the past when you failed. Talk about the past when you weren't good enough. Talk about the past when we put you down. Oh, but don't talk about it the way it happened because now I'm walking on eggshells. You get what I'm saying? So don't talk about the true past. Talk about it the way I want you to talk about it. Look the way I want you to look. They said, I'm so sick of her wearing the same thing. Why can't she get dressed in her other clothes? Why can't she look the way do you get what I'm saying? So as we're going over the past as it happened, not their version, they're walking on eggshells. As we're talking about the things they're saying, not the way they would want it to sound like my version because they want to take credit for the way I am, but what they're actually saying, oh, we're walking on eggshells. Not the way I want to look and how my sense of self wants me to look. No, the way they want me to look. But if I say, oh, we're walking on eggshells. So I'm going to call this video Walking on Eggshells and why it had to be only me in this. They kept saying they wanted to bring other people into this video series and make it more. No, it had to be only me in this video series. And it had to be only me doing this. Because I was the only person who can say in every instance what actually happened. And they said they don't want me to say what actually happened because isn't this supposed to be some sort of memory loss thing? It wouldn't require my memory because I'm showing you actual thumbnails of actual evidence. I'm showing you things. It's not like, oh, well, I'm remembering maybe. No, I'm showing you the actual things. So I'm going to end this video now and then I'm going to do another video. Thank you for watching.